If you're getting traffic to your Etsy shop, but not sales, your conversion rate is probably the problem. And most sellers have no idea what a good conversion rate even looks like or how to calculate it. So today I'm breaking down everything you need to know about your conversion rates on Etsy, including what's normal, what's not, and why this one number can transform your shop's profitability. Hi, I'm Sarah, and I help Etsy sellers build profitable Etsy shops through organic search visibility. No social media hustle required. If you are tired of working hard to get traffic, but still hearing crickets when it comes to sales, this video is going to help give you clarity on what's actually happening in your shop and how to fix it. And make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to walk you through exactly how to calculate your conversion rate for individual listings in your shop, not just your shop as a whole, so you can identify which products are converting and which ones need work. So let's start with the basics. What is conversion rate and why should you care about it? Your conversion rate is a measurement of how many visits you need to your Etsy shop to get a sale. The formula is really simple. We're going to do sales divided by visits times 100 to get a percentage. So if you had 100 visits to your shop last month and 2 sales, your conversion rate would be 2%. And here's why this number matters so much. You work really hard to get your traffic from Etsy. I know you do. You are fixing your SEO, you're tweaking descriptions, you might be sending some social media traffic, and you're fighting those algorithms. I get it. You want to make sure your listings convert as much as possible for all the people that you get there. So let's say you have 100 visits to your shop. If your conversion rate is 1%, that means you get 1 sale for those 100 visits. But if you work at your conversion rate and maybe you get your conversion rate up to 5%, for that same amount of traffic, you get 5 sales. That is the power of conversion rate. Small improvements here and there can double or even triple your revenue without getting a single extra visitor to your shop. Before we continue on, I would love to know what your conversion rate is. Go ahead and drop it in the comments. I want to see where everybody's at. So here's the number that everybody wants to know. A good conversion rate on Etsy is between 1 and 3%. Anything over 3% is great. Now, here's another thing you need to understand, which is that your conversion rate is going to vary depending on a large number of factors. First, your product and your price point. If you're selling a $2 digital download, your conversion rate might be higher than somebody who's selling a $2,000 piece of custom furniture. Lower prices can sometimes convert faster because there's less buyer hesitation. Now, this is not an excuse to lower your price from where it needs to be, but it's just something to keep in mind. The second thing is the time of year. If you sell giftable items, your conversion rate will increase during the giftable months. April and May for Mother's Day, November and December for Christmas are great examples. Buyers are up against a gifting deadline, and your conversion rate will be higher during those times if you sell a giftable product. So do not panic if your conversion rate fluctuates throughout the year. It's totally normal. What you do want to watch for is a trend over time. Is it generally increasing? Can you see seasonal patterns? Is it better than it was the same time last year, for example? That's what matters. So next, let me show you exactly where to find your conversion rate. Go to your shop manager and click on stats. At the top of the page is where you will see your conversion rate. Etsy has calculated this for your shop as a whole, and it will always be displayed there. You can also calculate the conversion rate for certain listings or for your shop as a whole manually, and this can come in really handy because you can look and see which listings in particular are converting well for you and which you might need to improve. So here's how to do that. On your listings page, find the listing that you want to calculate the conversion rate for and click the little cogwheel at the bottom of the listing. From there, click View Stats, and that's going to show you the stats for that individual listing. On that page, Etsy is going to show you the amount of sales that listing has made as well as the number of visits, and you can use the conversion rate formula to calculate the conversion rate for that specific listing in any time frame you'd like. This is gold because you know exactly which listings are pulling their weight and which might need a little bit of work. So if you've never checked out your conversion rates for individual listings, you can get a ton of information from that data. Pause this video for just a sec and go do that now. And then I have a question for you. I would love, before we go any further, to know what your conversion rate for your shop is. Feel free to drop it in the comments, or if you're listening to this on your favorite podcast player, DM me on Instagram and tell me what your conversion rate is. I would absolutely love to talk to you about how you could improve it. So after all of this, if your conversion rate is low, less than 1%, it usually means one of a few things. So let me run you through a quick list of some of the main culprits to a low conversion rate. The first thing is that your processing times might be too long. You can blame Amazon or you can just blame human nature. Either way, buyers want their items quickly. So make sure that your processing times are accurate and not overestimated. If you can shave off even just a day or two, sometimes that can make a difference. The next thing is that your shipping cost may be too high. And again, you can blame Amazon for this if you want, but if it costs $15 to ship your $20 product, buyers are going to be surprised by that at checkout and they're going to second guess the purchase. Next, you want to look at if your photos are building trust. When buyers land on your listing, they need to feel immediately confident that you are going to send them a very high quality product. If your photos are blurry or they're inconsistent or they don't look professional, it is going to erode that buyer trust and buyers are more likely to bounce. You might also be getting found for the wrong keywords. I have a great example for this. I used to sell empty refillable shampoo and conditioner bottles. Now, I could call those shower bottles, but when I was making that product, what would show up is baby shower bottles. So I actually didn't want to get found for that search. And if I did, my conversion rate probably would have been really low. People might be interested and they might click to figure out what's going on. But if it's not what they're looking for, they're going to leave. And that's going to tank your conversion rate. The good news is that all of these things are fixable. If your conversion rate is low, you do not need to panic. We just want to identify what the problem is and what you're going to do to fix it. Now, there is an exemption to this discussion, and I want to make sure that we talk about this before we end today. If you are getting very little traffic, like less than 100 visits a month, you do not have enough information to truly know what your conversion rate is. So if that's you, you want to focus on traffic first before you worry about how to convert more of the traffic that you're already getting. Get your SEO dialed in, get those full product lines figured out, and get people to your shop, and then you can focus on converting. Because I don't want you wasting time on improving your conversion rate if you're just not getting enough traffic to know that it's already normal. Okay, so let's do a quick recap on what we learned today. Your conversion rate is sales divided by visits times 100. It tells you how many visits you need to get a sale, and normal is between 1 to 3%. Your conversion rate will vary throughout the year, and that's totally okay. You can find your shop's conversion rate on your stats page or calculate it even on an individual listing basis manually. If your conversion rate is low, look at your processing times, look at your shipping costs, look at your photos and your descriptions to make sure buyers are getting all of the information that they need before checking out. If you are realizing that your conversion rate needs work, I would love to help you with that. I have one-on-one spots open this month, and you can apply using the link in the description to schedule a consult application call. On that call, we're going to talk about why your conversion rate is low and what you would need to do to increase it. Thank you so much for watching this week. And if you learned something from this video, I want to make sure that you subscribe because the next video is going to cover in even more depth how to increase your conversion rate. I want to make sure you don't miss out. I'll see you there.